Well, hello there. It's Margaret Kerry and Tinkerbell at large. And I am really getting fed up. I really am. I happen to love commercials. I worked in that field with people who wrote them, who designed them, and you could tell everything that was happening, how they put it together. You know, some of those that they do in 2 weeks, they're remarkable. But I have a big problem with them now. I still watch them very closely because I know how they're put together, so I enjoy that part. But they give me this beautiful artwork, this beautiful everything, and then they forget to tell me until the last second and a half, like that, boom, who the sponsor is. Have you ever noticed? It happens over and over and over again. I mean, I'm watching something that I think I really would like to find out about. It sounds very, very interesting. And because my husband watches golf all the time, they play the same commercial. I have watched it, I bet you, 8 times, and I have never figured out what the sponsor's name is. I mean, that's a waste because some of those commercials can $850,000, more than that if the big guys. So, but quick story. One day somebody asked me to produce a TV spots for a Daniel Eastman facial products. He said, oh, they were good stuff. And I said, me? Okay, sure, why not? So we wrote it up, what it was supposed to be. But I said, my point is that the phone number has to be at the bottom of the screen and some very pretty font, you know, not like this, but so you could read it all the way through and you could get the phone number. Okay, they said, all right, so show us. So I printed out what it would look like with the phone number and the font that we used, gave it to the man who was deciding on the whole thing and the advertising, and he carried it around, showed everybody, did they like this font, did they like this font? Like the font, but anyway, so he came back and we signed off. They checked everything that they liked. So you do that to make sure that you're putting it in and they're not missing anything. So they got to that, yeah, they marked that and so on. So we put it together and we sent it over to Channel 11 over in Los Angeles, KTTV, and put it on the air. Not one phone call. Not one phone call. That was preposterous. So they checked it, and guess what? It was the wrong phone number. This man had carried this around for everybody to check for the font, but not the phone number. And they called up, what are we going to do? Don't worry about it. KTTV was very nice about it, said it happens. And so we went back and re-edited and put the correct phone number in. And KTTV said, go ahead, we're not going to charge you for the first day and a half, which they did. And they ran the commercial and they were happy with it. And but I got to thinking, I wonder who had the other phone number. That phone must have been called off the hook. And anyway, that was one commercial that I produced, and I loved it, and his sponsor was great, and the product was great, and people could call in because the phone number was there. So maybe it's just me, but I would like to know who's sponsoring those wonderful commercials. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and here's a whole bunch of pixie dust from Tinkerbell and me.